Good evening. This is Wednesday, April 23rd, 195 days until the 2008 presidential election. And the Democrats will continue. Not only continue, but commemorate. Saturday, this Saturday, marks exactly 1 year since the first Democratic presidential debate. Our fifth story in the countdown tonight, neither primary nor debate, but rather debate over whether any of the claims of last night's winner are of primary and not secondary importance. 99% of precincts reporting Senator Clinton winning the Keystone State with just under 54.5%, not technically the double-digit win, but rounded up, it doesn't make that much difference. Her margin in victory in terms of votes, 214,764, and we mentioned votes because on the campaign trail in Indiana today, not to mention the endless emails sent out by her campaign, the popular vote now the sole metric by which Senator Clinton is gauging victory in the Democratic nominating process.
I'm very proud that as of today, I have received more votes by the people who have voted than anybody else. And I am proud of that because it's a very close race. But if you count, as I count, the 2.3 million people who voted in Michigan and Florida, then we are going to build on that.
If you count as Senator Clinton counts, you need to add a lot of ifs. The popular vote, as it actually stands now, a 482,000 advantage for Senator Obama. Once you add in Florida, which Senator Clinton does, and Senator Obama is still in the lead by 194,000. So what's she talking about? Add in Michigan, where Senator Obama was not on the ballot, and both candidates signed a pledge promising the election there would not count. And only then does Senator Clinton take the lead by 134,000. But wait, there's more. In order for that to work, Senator Obama has to receive absolutely no votes from the state of Michigan, throw the uncommitted votes his way in an effort to appease those who might point out that his name did not appear on that ballot, and he goes back into the lead by 104,000. Last we checked, the Democratic nomination is decided, however, on delegates. Among those, Senator Obama also in the lead, 1,729 to 1,596. Obama picked up 2 superdelegates today. Clinton won at a news conference in Indiana this afternoon. Senator Obama disputing the notions that A, he is not winning somehow, and B, that he cannot close the deal.
Well, the way we're going to close the deal is by winning. And right now, we're winning. And, you know, what we'll do is keep on campaigning in Indiana and North Carolina and Oregon and these other states. And at the conclusion of all these contests, people will go back and take a look and say, who's won? And once we have, you know, I think a pretty strong case to make that we've won more delegates, we've won more states, and we've won more votes, then it'll be, you know, I think apparent that we'll be in the strongest position to win in November.
Let's turn now to our own Chuck Todd, political director for MSNBC and NBC News. Chuck, good evening again.
Good evening, sir.
All right, well, to continue this discussion that we started last night, when it comes to the pledged delegate count, is this thing basically over? Did anything change, in fact, last night?
Nothing really changed at all. In fact, look, if we treated this the way we would call an election in a state, you know, the way our numbers gurus, Shelley Gweiser and Evans Witt, when they're looking at this stuff, we would call it. It's over. The pledged delegate count is going to be Obama's. It just is, because of proportionality, it is mathematically impossible for her to take the lead. In fact, when you start looking at these percentages, right now she would need 69% of all remaining delegates to take the lead. After May 6th, assuming a 50-50 split of those delegates that are up for grabs, and that's being very generous to Senator Clinton in this case, then suddenly she would have to win 85% of the remaining delegates. That is impossible because of the fact that Obama's name will be on the ballot in a lot of these places, and as long as he gets 16% of the vote instead of 15%, he will win the pledged delegate count. So that's over, and that's why you don't hear the Clinton folks talking about it anymore.
And the new metric, the latest of whatever it is, 16 different metrics that we've seen from that Clinton campaign, the popular vote argument, you have to include Michigan and Florida. Florida alone doesn't cut it. Michigan, where Obama's name did not appear on the ballot, where Clinton signed a pledge promising the election would not count, gave radio interviews to that exact construction of a sentence. You need both of them in order to put her ahead in the popular vote. This campaign has done, to, I guess it's credit from a political standpoint, magic acts that would make David Copperfield envy. You know, the things have disappeared like you wouldn't believe. But can they make the statement? Michigan does not count Hillary R. Clinton. Can they make that disappear?
Well, I don't know if they can. In fact, just days before Pennsylvania's primary, Terry McAuliffe, you had some other, John Corzine, governor of New Jersey. Both are supporters of Senator Clinton, very high-profile supporters of her, and they said, look, you can't really count Michigan. They were only trying to advocate counting Florida. And so even if you do, go ahead and throw in Florida. She has to find 200,000 votes somewhere in the remaining contest. That means she can't lose a contest. I mean, North Carolina and Oregon are two places that she is going to be a heavy underdog, that she could lose by double digits in both states. So she can't afford to even lose at all in order to find 200,000 votes, because if she lost there, and let's say lost a net of, she could lose as much as 150,000 votes out of North Carolina. But let's say it's 100,000 votes out of North Carolina. Well, then she's got to find 300,000 votes. It's just not there. Kentucky and West Virginia, she's going to win big. Even if she wins big, she's going to net maybe 100,000 votes. And I know I'm like talking with a lot of numbers here, and it's getting a little number crazy, but that's that's a metric that they've inserted into this game, and yet it's not going to work either.
Last point. The potential for a game changer somewhere in this race as it moves forward. I mean, John Dickerson from Slate said today how much of this depends on Senator Obama being caught giving all of his campaign cash to Tony Rezko.
Well, look, they look at the last 6 weeks and they say, geez, we didn't see Reverend Wright coming as this huge thing. We didn't see him making these bitter comments. You know, maybe there'll be one more mistake. But if they want a game changer, if Hillary Clinton wants to be the nominee, she has to beat him in his territory. She has to create this idea that he really is collapsing, that something is wrong with his candidacy. That means winning North Carolina. They're acting as if they're seeding it. They're not seeding the idea that they're going to not compete there, but they're seeding the idea that they can win there. Look, this thing is over if they don't win North Carolina. If he walks away with just one victory on May 6th, then it's hard to imagine how they talk the superdelegates into going with them and not him.
MSNBC and NBC News political director Chuck Todd, of whom I read online today. Chuck, don't let yourself be pressured into discounting the vital importance of the vote in Puerto Rico. That's right. Just passing that along. Somebody meant that seriously.
I'm hearing 2 million people might vote in Puerto Rico.
Then don't discount it.
There you go. Except they don't have a vote for an actual president. That's correct, right? Okay. Don't tell anybody.
Thank you, Chuck. Don't discount it.